last time, the crew was sadly betrayed by the best character, but we won't hang on that for too long.
I'm still here.
I said best character, not worst.
Yeah,
Get
no,
your ears
I
clean.
heard you.
Excuse you, Ash. What the hell? I thought we had something special.
Favoritism is
Look,
going
I'm
on
sorry,
here.
but my dick is already firmly in Experta's mouth. Could you not try and sort of it's one at a time, folks, please.
Jack, you misunderstand. I'm sucking B2's robot dick, not
Oh,
yours.
sorry,
There's a
in character.
difference.
Gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha.
there's a difference.
Yeah, and
Don't
I'm
ever
sucking
feel
the real
guilty
Jax's
about
dick,
this.
so yeah.
I want
Make the
you to
difference.
know that your efforts are fruitless.
I
Let
hope
us-
he remembers you.
Get
You're
Let's
dating
see.
the video, Adam. Stop that.
is no longer present, which is much sad, much wow. 1 second. Core's come
Every
back.
betrayal.
Very betrayal. I gotta get Core a second.
Much wow. Anyway, I sleep in the chair.
Why chair? It's your bed.
It's a wardrobe. There's
It's
a
also-
double bed.
It's also a wardrobe.
Yeah, but Jack sleeps in that bed.
Married. What's
What's the point?
The thing is this. Look, if you're gonna sit in a chair, sit in the actual chair.
Okay,
I mean-
fine. I'll sleep in
So,
the
is
guest
anyone
room.
else like weirded out by that? Like,
What? Maybe it's the piloting wife. Maybe things just aren't. No, maybe it's just not.
I'm just gonna
Going
assume
well.
that Jack is doing something very wrong and it's his fault.
Some sort
Look,
of
there's a
vibe
very
happening here.
simple reason if you just fucking ask.
I mean, I do. As soon as we get back, I've set coordinates and I'm flying away, and I see you in a fucking chair. You know,
Yeah,
I
here's
ask
the
you
thing.
why you aren't in bed recovering.
Yeah, here's the thing. Astrid is probably still hurt even after like the time. In fact, we don't even have to make it a week. We'll make it a day has passed or something.
She is certainly hurt, so I walk up to her and I ask her why she's sitting in a chair and not in her bed recovering.
At that point, Astrid just kind of blushes a lot and says, "You sleep in that bed."
So do you.
But technically, actually, Astrid's never slept in the same bed as you.
You better have after the wedding night, otherwise that would be a very boring
Look,
wedding.
I just put one of her arms over my shoulder and start leading her into the fucking bedroom to lie down because your goddamn entrails are turning into X-trails. And I am not a licensed medical professional.
Your entrails are turning into extras. Okay, if you sit her down in the bed, then she will now sleep in the bed with you.
Yes,
I-
this is perfect.
I will lay down and attempt to scrounge whatever's left of the stuff B2 left on the ship. Presumably just going, well, I don't know anything here, but this is synth skin, so if I spray it over and get her to somewhere
you
I'm
got-
not
you got
sure
some-
Astrid in character realizes what getting married means. I think she thinks she's a slave or something.
Do you want me to explain her line of reasoning?
I mean, also, you say that like her mum isn't the one who's more dominant in that.
So here's the thing. Well, I'll say it's been not even a day since passed because this is perfect. Since Jack, you actually anybody on the ship doesn't really have any
No one
sort of
has.
medical.
Yeah, Jack's putting out the feelers.
So right now, Ashley is pretty laid out and probably bleeding quite a bit.
We've done our best to skin up the wounds, but apart from that, making
Yeah,
sure
apart from
she's
that.
fed and comfortable, I can't do much.
Sadly, none of you know exactly how she's doing, but even for a Mandalorian, it's pretty bad when they can't physically stand up from the pain. So she's kind of
I'm
wailing
assuming
right
we're rushing
now.
to the closest place that can help her.
Yes, currently you are, and the thing is, you're still going after. Are you going after a doctor who's in circulation or underground sort of style?
I'm looking at one who doesn't have, the ability to be hired by a normal hospital. Someone who would be amenable to my kind of doctor.
Well, knowing your situation, if I has suggested someone who's currently on, well, Coruscant.
Coruscant it is.
Right,
Okay.
so you're arriving on a planet of Coruscant. You actually can get in contact with the person you're meant to be meeting now as you're landing, or you may choose a nice little landing spot and attempt to move Astrid. So either he meets you or you go to him.
No, he's coming to us. Astrid's not moving.
That depends. Is his equipment portable?
I can still walk.
Can't walk.
I can still walk. Oh, there goes
Is your
my
equipment
intestine.
portable?
Somebody is getting a nice little message, and Jack, that's your cue.
Well, what does it say?
Ring, 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 ring. Caller ID. Captain
Clicks.
Jack Dibler.
Greetings, this is Dr. Kains speaking.
Captain Jack Dibler, IFO referred me. Your equipment portable? We've got some bad injuries.
Yes, I've got some portable equipment.
Good,
Where are you
I'm sending
landing?
you the coordinates now. Pay you an extra 200 if you can get here within the next minutes.
An extra 200? Alright, it's a deal.
Click.
Which, as far as I'm aware, is 4 times the cost of normal healing someone anyway.
Well, soon enough, your little friend has arrived. I suspect you've landed and gave him the coordinates of your thing? Yes, of course. Now, soon enough, your friend arrives on the ship. And I
Yeah,
shall bring up...
Friend,
He
you
walks.
say? You mean unknown person?
Well, friend, because Fo told you he was a friend, so...
Yeah, if I trust him, I trust him. That's how it works.
You mean how you trust your droid not to betray us?
Actually, IFO didn't trust him, therefore I'm totally in the clear on that.
Hashtag logic.
I mean, look, I said if IFO trusts them, then I trust them. No one IFO trusts has betrayed me.
Right, and as he comes up to the ship, you see this person.
Yeah, so he's like an orange Mon Calamari in sort of a green jumpsuit. He's got like a medical kit, and he's got like some sort of pike on his back as well. He looks well equipped, sort of a bit travel worn, and he eyes the entrance of the ship carefully as he comes
I
aboard.
eye your pike slightly second, and then
Speaking of calamari, I'm getting
Is that
hungry.
a force pike?
it very well might be exactly what stabbed you.
You didn't just say that in character, did you, mate? Did you?
No, I'm saying that to Amanda. It very
Jack,
well
did you
might
play this race just so you can yell it's a trap all the time?
be- Yeah, in
No comment.
like,
No comment.
you know he did. Yeah, you
We're-
can't just Jack at the top of
We
the
are
stairs
going
"Right,
down
follow
the
me."
meme rabbit hole.
It's a nice ship you have here.
Thanks, she's my baby. I say patting it as we go past.
One of the lights falls down.
Eyes, fishy.
It's like, yes, she's my baby. Like the ship is shot to hell and back. It's like,
That's the first
The
time I
eyes
see a
are
description for eyes. Fishy.
Jesus. I love like identifying marks. Extra flappy gills.
Yep.
Right.
Sibby,
We
it's
could try
pronounced
and get into character
gills.
here.
Who's injured
Chills.
here, Captain?
But excuse me, I don't speak
My
Imperial.
wife, she's force pike, I say, giving you a
Actually, I
significant
do.
look at the weapon over your shoulder.
Oh,
Test a day ago.
his eyes widen slightly.
Who ran your wife through with a force pipe? Sounds awfully like a dangerous encounter.
Long story, I'll tell you while you're healing her. Pushing open the door into my bedroom, and on the bed you see Astrid.
Okay, he hurries in after you and sort of inspects the wound. Is Astrid awake?
Yeah, and I'm just kind of looking at you like, fuck you.
Greetings,
Doctor.
my name is Dr. Kains
Oh,
I've been referred to the ship by IFO. Let's take a look at your wound, if you don't mind.
she eyes the doctor with a force pike. 2 people who attacked her in one.
A Luffy Dorf.
I had the same thought.
He bends down, and he's like, as he bends down, you notice he's unusually like ripped. He's just like he's got huge muscles for like the Doctor.
I eye his
He
muscles.
heals you with muscles.
I eye your moose face.
He unclips his medical supplies and sort of brings out a few Bacta patches and presses them against your wound.
This
I'm
should
not
do
going
the trick.
anywhere.
It's not a critical injury, is it, Ash?
I would say in its current condition it probably is, but since it's been held off and treated, I would say it just takes time to treat it. So in other words, like you're having to stitch a wound, get in there a little bit with your things, make sure the organs aren't ruptured, that sort of thing.
Sure, so I'll put 3 diff on there then.
If it helps, my wounds are currently 11 out of 17.
Yeah, make sure to penetrate her with your functionality super deep.
And his amazing moose clays.
Got a fuck ton of wounds.
Yeah, I do.
Sorry,
It's because I'm combat Jeebus.
Uh-oh.
It's
not
seems like I killed her. Oh dear.
Oh dear, too fat, that means she's worse now. She took 2 strain damage.
Nice.
This is a worse injury than I was expecting. She'll take time to cure, Captain.
I'm just standing at her side with one hand holding her hand, the other one seemingly playing with something in a coat pocket.
That's
There,
still a
you
plus 2
Hawkeyed
to
the
wounds, by the way.
entire time.
That wasn't a direct failure, was it? So that's still
No.
plus 2.
Yeah, so you still heal with +2 wounds, so he is treating you at least.
Yeah. And because
I
this
feel
is
a
out
bit
of combat,
better.
we'll just assume that he spends the next hour sort of patching you up.
Doctor, if I recommended you, didn't really say much other than that you died. Your story.
I sit down without being invited to sit down.
I was a professional doctor for the Republic, but then, I left the military and I've been freelance for ever since. Then I met Ifo, who's been giving me on-the-side jobs for a while now.
Left the military. What was that?
Yes. Well, we had a disagreement once and I got too fed up of the stifling environment.
I'll just raise like a single eyebrow.
Let me put it this way. My higher-up was a complete fucking idiot.
Just straight
Well,
up.
at least nothing will change now you're here.
Jack holds out his glass for a cheers. Well, you told us how you got here. Here's how we got here. And he'll relate the whole story of from the wedding up until now. No, it's okay. It'll only take 20 minutes. Ashley's here.
But wait, you said from the wedding up until now, so that's actually not our entire story, which is nice.
No. I feel like going past the wedding isn't relevant unless I want to tell him the story of how we're technically terrorists.
So are you going
Maybe
to
leave that part out.
like relate all of the details regarding the betrayal of our former medical droid?
I am going to relate the details of the betrayal of our former.
Are you
And then I'll
gonna
finish
relate
up.
to him why we were betrayed?
And how you blasted him to bits and stole his head?
Actually, do you actually relate the reason why
Yeah,
you were
I'm
betrayed?
telling the full story, and then
Fuck
as I
me,
finish
really?
it, yeah, and then as I finish it, I pull out the thing I've been playing with in my pocket, which is B2's head. I say, so as you can see, we're sort of in need of a professional.
He peers down at the head, turning his face slightly so he can get a
Hello.
better look at it.
I tilt the camera up at you.
Certainly a tragic story, and I'm sorry your former medical droid sold you out like that. Certainly screwed up.
Yeah.
Looks like you came out on top in the end, though.
And he flicks the head slightly with a webbed hand.
Jack gives a little smile and goes, somehow we always do.
So what sort of jobs do you run here, Captain?
Well, anywhere between a bit of smuggling, some honest trade, and a couple times are rather domestic terrorism. I'll tell you the story of that if you do decide to take us up on our offer.
I don't mind a bit of smuggling, but I must protest against assassinations, that sort of work. You don't dabble in murderous assassinations, do you?
Not that I know. Can't speak for all the ladies.
Look, I understand that people need to be taken out if it comes to that, but I'm not up for being a hired killer, you understand?
Oh, actually, one thing. We interact with some Imperial officials on a fairly regular basis. That's not going to be a problem, is it? Not Sith, mind. Imperials.
He nods his head after a long pause.
As long as we can avoid the Sith, I don't have a problem.
Jack sort of turns to Tizzer and goes, so far I really like him. What do you think? Not even trying to be subtle about it.
I agree. Although I fear you should know that since we are freelancers, we may end up doing some kind of business with the Sith at some point.
As long as I'm not there
gives
to
you
directly...
the shake of the head while she says that, like a, not gonna happen.
I just don't like those freaks with those red lightsabers. Keep me away from them.
There we go. Kindred spirit. I'll give you like a clap on the shoulder and go, you've got the job if you want it. Cool. Actually, I turn on my comm beam and go, Astrid, you alright?
No response.
Before we stumble over a light side Sith warrior.
Must be asleep.
Oops.
I'll ask her when she wakes up.
Light side Sith warrior. Oh,
I mean,
triggered.
They're as real as dark side Jedi or Jedi Knights.
Yeah, Jack just looks and he goes, gotta check with the wife, but when she wakes
Perhaps I should have a proper introduction to all of your crew members.
yeah, Cora must be somewhere. Jack walks along the walls like hitting vents
Cheers.
as he's walking about.
I'm not a fucking tunnel snake. Tunnel snake's through wall.
It's likely she's in the cargo bay meditating.
But before this, while you guys were still talking, you two would have had much more time to talk, so feel free to pick up that scene now if you want.
Alright. I just typed in my stuff.
Go ahead, Cora.
And worst of somebody else was gonna pay the price for it, and because there you were, riding in the cavalry here to save the day. Ship got smashed up. Mandalorians that came to help got beat up. Almost died. How am I supposed to face the others like this?
Cora, nobody blames you for what happened.
Should.
B2 was gonna betray us either way. I'm pretty sure his original plan was to steal the ship. He just wasn't trustworthy. Nothing was your fault in that situation. You didn't do... If you want to blame yourself, I can't stop you, but you can't blame yourself for everything. You didn't force B2 to shoot you. You didn't force them to put you in a test tube. They did that on their own. They're not absolved of guilt. You really want to be careful so none of this ever happens again. I kind of put up a fist for you to fist bump. Just stick with me this time. Trust me, everything will be fine. Girls' night out. I wink at you. Astrid's just giving you a big reassuring smile.
Ah.
Now seriously, how bad is that wound? Resting.
But no, I'm fine.
No, I'm
At
dragging
that
you
point-
back to bed.
At that point, I believe the group will arrive by this point and see, like, Cora...
And this is
Wait,
what in the force are you doing out of bed?
As I hear the door opens, everybody just hears a shit as Astrid just realizes she's been caught. Immediately just kind of scrambles onto her knees, tries to scramble away. Her wound acts up and she just kind of gives a loud oof as she just curls up on the ground.
As the door opens, and this is Core. What in the force are you doing out of bed? Runs over.
No, I'm fine.
Kains, help me lift her. When did you even have the time to get back in your armor?
I see your wife is quite a stubborn woman.
Mandalorians learn to live with them. I hope.
Wait, is she armored currently?
No, she's not.
I just assumed you'd always be armored.
No, you just.
Astrid doesn't really wear her armor as much anymore because she's not in hiding.
I mean, to be fair, she's a Mandalorian, so her skin is probably so tough that it kind of resembles armor's.
And screaming to bed.
Pretty much. Well, no. I mean,
resembles
considering
Galen
you
for a
can't even
minute.
stand, like, I imagine, like, in Astrid's mind, she's kicking and screaming. Like, to us, she's sort of weakly flailing and moaning.
No, let me go! I can still do things! I gotta check on the
Trash is
mechanics!
like, I'm fighting valiantly, but they somehow overpower me. I don't understand why.
Cora, Kains, Cora.
I'm assuming that's the doctor that came to help Astrid.
He holds out a fishy webbed hand towards you.
Yes, I was called on board by IFO. My name's Dr. Kains Lufendorf.
I'm assuming it just looks weird. It's not actually slimy, right?
It's not actually slimy, but it looks slimy.
Cora is gonna think about it a little while before slowly bringing her hand forward. Pleased to meet you, Cora.
Well, Cora, I've agreed to join the crew as your next doctor. I was filled in on what happened recently, and I'm sorry about this whole mess.
When he says that he's been filled in, I'm gonna just quietly look over to Jack for confirmation. Exactly how much did he tell you?
I just give you a nod while still tracking Astrid back to bed.
By the way, Cora looks extremely
Now, dear
upset when you just noted her. I told you everything?
That's everything past the wedding.
Must really trust this guy, Jack.
If I trusted, that's enough for me. Plus, can't help but feel a kindred spirit.
Just hope you're right about this.
Well, that's very nice of you to say, Captain.
At any rate, since part of the welcome aboard.
Well, thank you. I need to go and get my stuff. If that's alright.
Do you need?
No, it's only small luggage.
Okay
Plugs
then.
in 2 crates.
Kains has like an industrial-sized, like hover box. He's wheeling up the ramp.
Kick. Theseus raises an eyebrow. It would appear you've brought your own medical bay, or am I wrong?
This is all of my personal belongings. I hope it's not a problem.
Wait, this is all of your personal belongings? They're not medical
That's right.
tools?
Well, most of it's medical tools, but I've got a few prized artifacts I like keeping.
Ah, I see. Well, there's a set of quarters for you, although I'm afraid they might not necessarily be very clean at the moment. The previous occupant left in kind of a hurry, and, well, I would surmise that our traitor droid didn't clean it very well.
He frowns slightly, but then nods with an understanding expression.
Right. Speaking of which,
I do apologize.
Excuse me, sir. Would you like some help with that?
Oh, yes, please, yes. If you just wheel it in my room for me, that would be brilliant.
Of course. I shall do that right away.
Ah, yes,
So
Doctor,
you can
this is...
Sorry, you just inside. If you look inside of the crate, it's like slightly open. You can see some pottery, like carefully wrapped up, and some ridiculous-looking ornaments.
oh my god, he's some kind of voodoo motherfucker.
I mean, I'm assuming it's basically like Mon Calamari, I don't know, like traditional stuff or something.
Oh, every
Yeah,
time you say
pretty
that, I
much,
can
yeah.
only think seafood.
Technically, they are seafood.
Caesar, like, pushes the button to open the cabin. Well, here we are. It's a bit cramped, but so are all the quarters on the ship.
That's quite okay. I'll leave anything I can't fit in the cargo bay, if you don't mind.
That is all right. Although I feel I should point out that there are a bunch of other things in our cargo base at the moment.
Oh, over here, guys. Over.
Excellent.
Also, do be careful in the Fuck, is this port or starboard?
Port. I think
port,
port's
yeah.
the left
You're
side.
such a
starboard,
nerd, Sibby.
right?
Do be careful in the port cargo bay. There is a couple of refurbished battle droids in there currently. We have salvaged.
Considering your history with salvaged battle droids, I'd be careful with those.
Yes, which is why I suggest you take steps not to accidentally activate them. They should not attack anyone, but I'm not 100% sure about their programming at the moment.
Thank you for the warning, Tisha.
So, would you like me to get out your personal belongings and put the pottery and the like in the cargo bay?
Yes, if you could just unpack everything you can for this room, and then leave the rest in the cargo bay. What's your name, droid?
I am designated as Jay. It is good to meet you.
He ignores that. You get the sense he doesn't see droids as people.
Oh, space racist.
He
Doctor,
literally is a kindred spirit.
I believe we could also use your input as to the best location for a medical bay at the moment, considering we don't really have one.
You don't have a medical bay.
He blinks in surprise.
At the moment, no.
I see. Well, I suppose my medical kit will last us for a while, but a medical bay would be a great asset to the crew.
Naturally,
Certainly.
but this ship is originally meant to be a freighter, so it doesn't have a lot of the facilities you would expect on a warship, for example.
Of course. It was ridiculous of me to assume that. I'm sorry, I'm used to those big Republic cruisers.
Yes, it's quite different. A little bit more sparse, if you imagine.
He nods
If you
at you
don't
and
mind me
starts-
asking, how long did you serve in the Republic military?
About 20 years.
Oh my, that's... Wait, actually I need to remind myself how old I am. Oh my, that's how long I've been alive.
He leans forward slightly and blinks at you.
Certainly quite a young crew member then.
Yes, well... For people like me, this is most likely the best use of our talents, and best fit, if you will.
When you say people like you, what sort of role do you have on this ship?
That is a question that isn't so easily answered. Well, I'm sure you've guessed what the Mandalorian's job is here, and Jack is obviously the captain and pilot. You see, I'm a former member of the Jedi Order.
He gapes at you. He just straight out gapes at you.
You mean to say you left the Jedi Order?
Yes, I'm afraid I did.
He doesn't really have a response right now. He's just still gaping at you.
On a fish looks extra funny.
Yeah. It looks like, you know, when you grab a fish out of like water,
It
and
just,
it just sort of,
pops its mouth open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just imagining like a goldfish is just...
yeah, pretty much.
I love how we all make the noise.
yeah, that exactly true.
This is just like... It would appear this upsets you.
Let me put it this way. If I were lucky enough to get into the Jedi Order, I certainly wouldn't throw it away.
And he presses the button on the sliding door and his room closes.
Tisha thinks to herself, rude. He didn't even give her a bloody little chance to explain.
Rude, just like our last member. You're on board!
Looks like he's trying to come to terms with what this revelation.
Dude, are you seeing this?
Come on, T-Rex! Fuck you, bitch!
Yes, on the buildings, collateral damage.
Fuck collateral damage, I'm in a giant ass